Hi, my name is Mary Hood. I am a printmaker from Arizona, and welcome to my show at the Artisan Gallery. The name of my show is Small Stories and Other Adventures, and I'm going to take you on a small adventure telling you a few stories about some of the pieces in the show. This is the first piece that I did within the series of pieces that you'll see in the exhibition. It's the first time I used a bear in the work, and the title is called Displaced Replaced. So this piece was made by using a laser engraved woodcut, and from a digital file I can take the image and I can burn it into a piece of wood. And when I burn it into a piece of wood, I can then take that wood and ink it and pull multiple impressions. So in this case, this is inked on handmade paper, so the paper has a lot of texture to it. And the wood is inked up, and you can see some of the grain in the wood. And also this image, there's some graffiti on the wall, so that's kind of embedded into the image as well. And then I can pull multiple impressions. I did a little hand coloring, watercolor in the piece as well. And then on the bear, to get it fuzzy, I wanted the bear to have that real soft feel to it, so I sanded the paper. And because I made the paper was pretty substantial. So I was able to sand the paper and then rub charcoal into the surface of it. And the idea behind this piece was this bear is being relocated to a more ideal space. But is the space ideal for the bear, or is it ideal for the humans to deal with the bear? And so you can see that it's being hoisted between these two spaces. And in this space, there's all these little tiny flowers, and it's really starting to talk about ideas of utopia and how we are able to construct an idea of utopia, or this man-made utopia. But does this man-made utopia really exist? This work is from a series of pieces that I made called Even in Arcadia. And Even in Arcadia was a suite of 12 images that I made during the summer of 2013. And during that summer, I really wanted to take a hiatus from the printmaking studio. And so I decided that I was going to do collage work. And during that summer, I used the laser quite often. And so all of these images are cut on the laser or engraved, the paper's engraved with the laser as well. And so I found a lot of reference materials and made my digital files to cut out the trees and these really intricate kind of patterns. The burn marks on the bears here, that's actually from the laser itself. When I layered multiple pieces together, I found that I got these beautiful burns, and I loved it, so I started doing it on purpose. At first it was an accident, of course, and then I started doing it on purpose. And then some of the surfaces of the bears are laser engraved, so I watercolored on top of them as well. So you're going to see a lot of texture if you look really closely. Each one of the images is talking about, similar to the Displaced Replaced, similar issues of utopia being mediated by man. And so in all of these pieces there's a hand. And the hand is kind of the stage, or the puppet master, if you will, for the environment that the bears are in. And so here the hand is cupping the mama bear as she's watching her babies. And here the hand, the two adolescents are on the hand. And then this one here, there's several hands kind of, flickering underneath it. So again, kind of talking about the same narrative, but setting up different situations for the bears to exist in. So each piece is made with 2 layers of vellum. And with the 2 layers of vellum, which is a semi-translucent material, there's 4 surfaces to work with. So that's where we're getting a lot of the depth of field in this work, in that there's images on the front, on the back, on the front, and the back of each piece of vellum. So the images that are way in back have a softer look, and they're kind of veiled by the vellum that's in front. Each one of these hands in here has an armature that's sitting inside the frame. There's a piece of cardboard inside there that's stuck into the foam core. And around that piece of cardboard is a LED string. And so the LEDs are shining white light above, and they're shining blue light below. And so I wanted the hands to be opaque, but I wanted everything else to have transparency or translucency to it. And I really like this idea that this is a space that is not a stagnant space or a static space, but a space that's always changing and responding to its environment. So this piece here is called Swimming, and this piece is a piece that's really important to me and has a real personal meaning for me on a very intimate level. And a lot of the work in the show is inspired by current events and different political events that are happening and shaping our world right now as we speak. And this one was inspired by the mass migration of refugees leaving conflict zones and leaving conflict zones in a place that's very dangerous for them and their children, and their willingness to risk the lives of their children in order to find safety and find freedom. And the idea that someone would cross a large body of water at the peril of their children, and sometimes, many people have died on this journey, really moved me, and it was very upsetting to me. And so it was a piece that I had to make. And of course I used this mama bear image. And the mama bear here has her 3 little babies on her back. And she's swimming across, a horizonless body of water. So we don't really know how big or how small this is. But I wanted the piece to have a sense of vastness to it. But also a real sense of determination, because the determination of these immigrants and refugees that are leaving places like Sierra Leone or Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, they're desperate. And there's a tremendous sense of humanity in what they're doing that is very inspiring and but also really frightening. And so this piece is kind of dedicated to them. And then I showed this to a friend of mine who's Native American, and she told me an Ojibwe story. And there's an Ojibwe story about a mama bear swimming across Lake Superior. And she got almost to the shore, and she got tired. So she's told the babies, okay, you have to swim the rest of the way. And the babies never made it. And so on the opposite shore of Lake Superior, there's 3 Ojibwe mounds, and those 3 mounds represent the 3 babies. And so this image has resonance beyond the immediacy of the news. There's a overarching humanity and connection with this piece that I have found really rewarding. So all of the work that I've talked about so far has featured bears, and there's a reason why I'm interested in bears. And bears have this universality to them in that they're present on every continent. And so every culture has had a very intimate relationship with bears. A lot of Native American cultures, the bear is a very powerful spiritual symbol. It's a powerful spiritual symbol in Africa. It's a powerful symbol in New Zealand or Australia, even though they're a little cuter because they're little koala bears, which aren't really bears, but they're marsupials, but who cares, we call them bears, so, So the bear is something that's just really connecting to us. And even though all my work doesn't feature bears and I feature other animals, the bears to me have this human connection, and they're really kind of stand-ins for us. I feel that if I were to paint people in these pictures, that we've become so desensitized to the image of people suffering or in different situations that we don't pay as much attention. But if I put an animal in, we're much more empathetic to animals. And so I really like the presence of my hand in the work as much as the photographic quality to it. So the water here is a painting that I did with a technique called white ground etching. And after I had etched the photogravure, I re-coated the plate with an aqua tint and painted the copper, and then I etched the plate. So I'm really enjoying this combination of the hand mark and the photographic element being combined together. This piece is a special piece in terms of the sales for the exhibition. This piece is all the sales and proceeds from this piece will go to a benefit called Save the Children, and that are working with children and their families who have been refugees and are making their way to the United States. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you share some stories during the opening, and I hope to see you soon.